What's up, sneakerheads and basketball enthusiasts alike? This is the Only Land, and I am back finally with the performance review for the Curry 6s. What the hell? It took me so long. I don't know. If you're wondering where I am and what's all this behind me and the noise and all that good stuff, I'm in Italy for work, so that's kind of why you guys haven't gotten it yet. And by you guys, I mean the 5 people who watch my videos. What can I say? I don't know. I've been busy. I don't have, just to preface, I don't have the sneakers on me. I brought along these bad boys, so the performance review for these is done too, so I'll have that out right after I'm done with this one. And that's why I don't have these. Only a limited amount of packing, and I'm not bringing a sneaker that I'm not necessarily going to be balling in 24/7. So that was the reason it's the reason I don't have them. For the traction, you have a storytelling. I know we discussed this in the last video, so I'm really just trying to stick to the performance aspects of it. And it was, I wouldn't say fantastic, but it got the job done, per se. I think my worries with it were that it would pick up a little bit too much dirt, and I really didn't have any of that. Really minimal wiping. It was, to be honest, a lot better than I thought it would be. And here comes a plane that's going to interrupt me. As I said in my last video, it was supposed to be, it's like storytelling, because part of it is supposed to be for some copy stucco on Curry's house, blah blah blah. Didn't matter, didn't affect anything. The traction was good. Moving on to cushioning, you have a full length hover, and can I say, hover is fantastic. This is my first time playing in hover, and it reminded me of Ultra Boost. I don't know if I said that in my last video, but it reminds me of Ultra Boost. And by Ultra Boost, I mean running in Ultra Boost. I don't know if anyone actually runs in Ultra Boost, but that's technically what they're meant for, right? They're supposed to be a casual / running shoe, and the boost in there gives a lot of return. So it feels like as you're running, it's like pushing you up, bouncing back. So that injury return thing that people just say, injury return, like the common word, it's a real thing. And as soon as I stepped into them and started doing anything, I felt the energy return right away. You feel like the bounce in the sneaker. Now, this is not a bounce per se, like, I don't know, I don't really have a good example for like a bouncy sneaker that you feel like you can fly at the gym. This is a bounce for like running. So as you're running, you're feeling the return as you're running, not as you're landing and feeling that type of return. So 2 different bounces, should I say. I love it. I love hover. Hover, this makes hover my new favorite cushioning. I told you KD12s that is my favorite setup, because it's really soft. But for return, hover's got it. Really, hover's got it covered. For the upper, you've got a knit, a full length knit, and for once, I haven't ripped anything on it, honestly. The last couple reviews you guys have seen me do, I've somehow ripped or torn or messed up some part of the shoe, some part of the upper, and I haven't had any of that. And now there's an ambulance. Oh, get louder, please. Yes, a little bit louder. As I was saying, yeah, I didn't tear apart the knit, and the knit performs really well. Unfortunately, to go back to the Ultra Boost, fortunately to go back to the Ultra Boost, if you've ever tried to play in Ultra Boost, you feel like your whole foot will fly through it. And I've seen people rip through Ultra Boost trying to play basketball. You're not gonna have this issue with the knit. It's really light, you know how Curry likes his shoes, and it performs really well. I really only had one concern, and that was in the beginning, and that was the laces. And it's the laces because it's a knit and it's just a one-piece knit. It doesn't have obviously a tongue, so it has a tongue, but it's not a separated tongue. And usually with a separated tongue, you'll have more cushion, and that's where I'm getting to. You have the laces, and my first thought, which is always my first thought, is tie it super tight. And the first time I played in them, I tied them super tight, and God, was it painful. Like really, really painful. Like even though they're flat laces, it felt like it was biting. Like as tight as I pulled them, it was biting into my feet, and I couldn't do it. So I think after that, I kind of just gave them like a little tie so that it wouldn't, the laces wouldn't flop around, and it worked fine, honestly. Because of the lockdown, which I'll go into, because of the lockdown on the shoe, on the booty itself, as long as you're going true to size, and I'm just going with 11.5 as being my true to size now. As long as you're going true to size, you're not going anywhere. You're not falling out of the sneaker. You're heeled. There's no heel slippage. You'll be fine. So negative on the laces because they hurt when you tie them too tight. Positive, you don't have to tie them tight at all. As opposed to like, what were those? The BBs. The BBs, I don't remember the BBs. The Adapt BBs. As they got tighter, you still felt like your heel would like slip out of the back, and I didn't get that at all. That's pretty much it. This is the only land. Do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I put out videos, since I don't put them out that frequently. You know, it would help me out, help you out, you know, like a little exchange type of thing. And that, like I said, that's pretty much it. This is the only land, and I am out of here.